Coming to you from the Radio for One studios in Franklin, Michigan. Welcome to the Detroit Cast.
Big fan. Big fan.
A show not just free of charge, but free of FCC regulations.
Thank you for your support of the Detroit Cast.
Oh, there it is.
And without further delay, it's showtime. Please welcome the Detroit Cast. Here are your hosts, Mike and Jay.
Good day, everybody. Welcome to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. How are you doing, pal?
Just fine, Mike. It's time to entertain the masses again.
Yes. How are you, E? You doing all right?
Amazing.
He drinks water out of a Diet Mountain Dew bottle.
I don't know. It's a weird thing where I like to try not to use as much plastic. But then I don't know. Then the argument is then by reusing it over and over, people say like there's possibility that you're getting plastic in me and then I'm getting sick. From
Yeah,
it
that
later.
shit's bleeding out in you, E.
Is it really? Is
I
that the
don't know.
concern?
Yeah, that's what some people.
That it's breaking down and then getting into your system?
Yes.
Never heard that.
So I don't know, but whatever.
Yeah,
But,
you're
better
slowly
for the-
dying, E.
Well, yeah, whatever.
How are you, Mike, most importantly?
Well, I'm all right.
Good.
I'm all right, yeah. Just trying to get through the day, as always. Me.
Here we are in our overwarm house just trying to get through the day.
Yeah, thanks
Dude,
for...
73 degrees is what your house is set at. That is absurd.
What should it be set at?
64.
Oh, my God. Dude,
That's what my house is set at, and that's what every house should be set at.
Of course.
64
What a shock.
degrees.
Of course. Jay wants it that way, so that's
I did a
the way
little
it's to be
research,
done.
Mike. I looked up what temperature should I set my thermostat at in the winter. Turn down your thermostat to 68 degrees. For every degree you lower your heat in the 60 degree to 70 degree range, you'll save up to 5% on heating costs.
Really?
Wear warm clothing, like a sweater, and set your thermostat
Mike
to
already
68
wears
degrees
warm
or
clothing.
lower during the day and evening, health permitting.
Wait, what was the last sentence?
Set it to 68 or lower during the day and evening, health permitting.
Health
Dude,
permitting.
you wear like hoodies every day. Why do you need this? It makes me feel sick.
Well,
Honestly, I walk in here, I feel it's stifling.
Turn it down then.
I feel woozy.
Yeah, well, go turn it down to 68 for the king.
64.
Not 64.
Not turning it down to 64.
Yeah, fuck that. I had it. I woke up this morning because you turned it off and then didn't turn it back on before you left yesterday. And I was freezing last night. I was like, God damn it, it's so cold. And I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Gee, I wonder what happened. And then, of course.
You couldn't feel that before you went to bed. Sorry.
No, I just.
Well, if you want, I'll reset the whole thing.
You
And
will?
I'll set it to 64 during the day and
No,
78 at night.
I don't want it at 64 during the day. But if you want to do 68, I think that's a fair compromise.
66.
68. It was
68 is recommended. 64 is what I would do. We go 66.
66 is what it was at yesterday when I was freezing, so I don't want to do 66. I'll compromise at 68 instead of 73.
Wear a new Detroit Cast beanie and hoodie.
Yeah.
Keep you warm.
We're getting those today?
E, you gonna head down there and grab some?
Yes.
Good man.
All right. Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. A very warm and muggy and stuffy show.
Just
Woozy.
remember-
I feel woozy.
Can't you just remember, like, you know what? I'll remember from now on. When I leave, I'll turn it back up to your recommended temperature.
It's fine when you guys leave, and then as the night gets cooler and this and that, I'm like, God, it's fucking cold in here.
I still don't understand when you
Why it
realize
doesn't occur
this.
to him.
Like, when do you
Here's why.
realize it?
Here's why. Because you know how it feels different down here. It's warmer down here than it is in the room up there. A lot of times, if I'm in the upstairs room, it's
make
always
sense.
cold.
That doesn't make sense. Heat
Makes
rises.
no sense.
It should be hottest in your room.
Okay, well, it is in my bedroom, but down here it's usually hottest, right? You guys don't feel that?
I feel woozy all over the house. I'm gonna pass out at any moment.
If you ever hung out in the TV room upstairs, the wood room, that room is cold
Oh,
all
the
the
wood
time.
room. Rich
one-
mahogany, Mike?
The one with the wood floors. Fuck!
He has a wood room, E. Wow, pretentious Franklin.
Oh, I fucking hate you guys. It's got wood floors, and so that room is cold as shit
that
all
room
the
is
time.
cold, you're right.
And so if I'm in there doing something, if I like to read a book in there or watch TV in there, not a like a leather bound book, but just some asshole's book. So I'll sit on the couch and read, and it's cold in there. So that's why I can be in there and
Don't
be
you
freezing.
curl
And
up
then
with a blanket like most people do when they
no, I don't curl up with a blanket.
Just picture him with a cat on his lap and a big leather recliner.
What do you think I am, Dr. Evil?
I don't know.
Damn it.
in his wood room.
You guys are impossible. Anyways, did you see Trump was named Time Man of the Year yesterday?
Yeah. They usually just pick the most controversial figure of the year, right?
How can you not pick him? I know he was in the running last year, but he gave an interview to him. He was up, especially when you see who he's up against. I think he was up against Beyonce, Hillary, Vlad Putin. So you got to pick him. Anyways, Hillary came in second. Hackers came in third. Yeah, they'll probably come in first soon. It's coming. I was telling you about Warren Space.
Yeah, that guy Warren.
That guy Warren Space, yeah, and that dude's coming. So anyway, yeah, Trump called it it's a tremendous honor to be on the cover of Time. And their editor-in-chief, Nancy Gibbs, said it was the easiest decision the magazine has ever made for the honor. In his interview, he compared his leadership style to that of Bill Belichick.
This guy is such a clown.
Yeah. He'll deal with Tom Brady differently than he's going to deal with some rookie that just came in. It's a different form of leadership. Not sure exactly what that means, but he also said he doesn't believe Russia interfered in the election, blah, blah, blah. They tried to build up my relationship with Russia. He did say he's going to build the wall. He's still saying that. I'm going to build the wall. We're going to have strong borders. We're going to have people coming across the borders because we need workers. We have to be able to have people come into our country because that's good for all of us. It's good for them, but it's good for all of us. We're not going to have illegals coming in, but we're going to have people coming in based on a certain extent on merit, he said. Anyway, he went on to say that when he was asked what he thought of this country, he said, it's an incredible place, the most incredible place ever, and we're losing that. I don't want to lose that, and the people that voted for me, we call them the forgotten men and women. These are great people that built this country, and they've been forgotten. So that's, pretty straightforward interview that you'd expect from Donald Trump, I suppose. Yeah, so not a terrible shock there.
No.
He did fire Michael Flynn Jr. too yesterday. That came out, the Pizzagate thing.
Yeah.
Which, not much of a shock there, but good to see.
What position was he in to be fired?
They were trying to get him security clearance, and he was doing scheduling for his dad, that kind of thing. So
Hanger-on sort of thing.
Yeah, and so they were just like, yeah. Trump made the call. It was just like, yeah, dude, fuck you. You got to go. Too much controversy surrounding you. You don't have a big enough role, so beat it. So they terminated him. And then did you see, just in time for Christmas, Kid Rock launches a new clothing line?
I heard about that. I haven't seen any of the clothing. What are we dealing with?
Well, they're for Trump supporters. I guess he's a big Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's got this new line of apparel out. He released 3 new T-shirts on his official website, $25 each, that feature Trump or a reference to the election. One says God's, Guns, and Trump on it. Another features a picture of Trump's head with the misspelled just Arnold Trump. Underneath it reads, "The D is missing because it's in every hater's mouth." There you go.
Okay.
A third one boasts a map showing the country and how they voted during the election. The red states are labeled the United States of America, while the blue states are dubbed Dumb Fuckistan. There you go. And that's the one he was wearing at a concert. He just happened to be wearing during a performance. People were like, where can I get that shirt? And so that's kind of what gave him the idea. Also available on after Christmas, December 30th, he's got a baseball hat that kind of looks like Trump's that says "Make America Badass Again." Play on his badass thing. Anyway, he first, there it is. Started supporting Trump back in February, saying he found his campaign, quote, to be entertaining as shit.
Yeah, he was on board fairly early on. I remember that.
My feeling,
Scott Baio.
Yeah, Baio was there early. But Kid Rock, I don't remember seeing him at many things.
Right.
Like, he wasn't, like, performing and...
It's publicly known that he was behind him, but
Yeah.
I don't think he did a lot
I think
of
the
public
Trump. I think that definitely his Kid Rock's fans and Trump fans would be.
some overlap there.
Yeah, a little bit of overlap.
I feel like.
Sure. My feeling, let the motherfucking business guy run it like a fucking business. He announced the apparel because of as I said, the overwhelming demand for that one shirt he was wearing. Of course, there's always assholes out there. Oh my God, you're everything wrong with modern civilization, Kid Rock. Glorified ignorance and hate. Why don't you start selling KKK hoods too? The shirts even offended one Trump supporter. Oh my God, I live in dumb Fuckistan state and voted for Trump. It's not fair to suggest this. So anyway, if anyone's interested though, just go to Kid Rock's website and Pick it up for the super fan on your list.
Well, seeing what a businessman will do will certainly be interesting. The news over the past couple days has surrounded Trump's comments about Boeing and the Air
Yeah.
Force One deal and him jumping on Twitter and
Yeah.
calling him out for that. Apparently he was way off and throwing out the $4 billion number.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow he had in his head that the new Air Force One project through Boeing was going to cost the country $4 billion.
Yeah.
And so he jumped on Twitter, said, hey, this is ridiculous, cancel the order. I mean, I give him credit. I like the idea. This has always bothered me. Government waste. How can
Totally.
it not?
Yeah.
You hear about the billions that are just flushed down the toilet. Give him credit for kind of giving a shot across the bow to companies and
Yeah.
government suppliers. Like, hey, we're going to be actually fly-specking some invoices here, perhaps. But, Boeing's stock
But you should know
tanked. You got to know the facts, number one. You got to be aware, and I think he'll become more aware of this as time goes on and more of these things happen with Twitter. But his words have power behind them,
Yeah.
and people listen and they react to it. It's not just like it used to be when he could tweet before, when he was just
Yeah.
business guy Donald Trump.
Well, those go into the official public record. His tweets will come to January 20th or whatever.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is there statements by
because
the president?
They're statements by a president publicly, and so those become part of the official presidential record. I mean, yeah, it's a
Oh no, those will be right up there with, I'm sure, some George Washington quotes and Abraham Lincoln
Yeah,
quotes.
yeah. Be some classics.
Right up there with
Yeah.
the Gettysburg speech.
yeah. Cancel the order for Boeing. Yeah, I don't know. I thought I heard Boeing saying it was going to be more like 170 million.
Yeah, yeah.
Not 4 billion. We don't know where he got that number.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with a plane he'd be flying anyways. I think it's for like future renovations like 10, 20 years down the road.
Yeah, it's for all sorts of systems and things, and these things have to have defense systems and abilities that obviously regular planes don't. And so Boeing has to develop new things that the Air Force is ordering.
Yeah.
They're putting on the ledger as we want this, this, and this, and they're just trying to
Fill the
do
order.
that. And I've also heard that they don't even make money off the deal; that it's kind of like they do it to support the country.
Really?
And so for them to be called out as making too much, what do you say? I want the
I want them to make a lot
I
of
want to
money.
make a lot of money.
Not
just
that much.
Not that much.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Their stock tumbles.
I heard it went down 1%, but then it came back. But it shows how heavy, how weighted that is. The other thing he did yesterday, dragging out that Japanese businessman. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Which seemed, it was cool too. Who knows how much truth there is. I guess this guy's a big owner of Sprint. I think their company owns Sprint.
And what did he want to do? He wanted to announce the fact that this guy was going to invest $50 billion
Yeah.
into a U.S. company somehow.
And then into multiple U.S. companies, into startup businesses or something, and 50,000 new jobs in America. But seeing this little Japanese guy who could not have a bigger shit grin on his
Yeah.
face, going in front of the cameras, this little wee little
Yeah.
dude.
Coming to kiss the ring.
yeah.
And gets his face on the news the next day.
Yeah.
It's funny. We'll see how it goes forward once he takes office. But right now, it's good that he's doing these things. These things are being reported, like the carrier jobs that were saved, the 800 or 1,100 jobs, whoever you believe on that one.
Yeah.
But that's just drops in the bucket
Totally.
when you talk about
Yeah.
economic improvement. And there's going to have to be larger policy changes that hopefully can increase our economy and not just these little nickel and dime in the grand scheme of things. I hope he realizes that. Wow, is his tie long again?
I know.
Trying to cover his balls. But yeah, he's towering over the little Nihonwa.
Yeah. I think that guy, I can't remember what his name was, but that tie, DTRBM, I think, texted or tweeted at us that a picture of Trump like a week or two ago
Dude, this is a great one. Yeah.
with his tie. Did you see that?
Tie's going over his shoulder as the wind is blowing, and this journalist is calling him out for having taped the back of his tie.
Yeah.
So you can picture the back of the tie. When you tie it, you've got the short end that usually gets tucked through that little
The little hoop. There's
little
a
hoop.
little
Yeah.
hoop there on
and
the
if you're
back of our
tying it
ties.
right, it tucks through.
And it should hang down through the loop about an inch.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fair.
At least. Yes. Well, my man has his tie tied so long that small end is way up his chest, so he has to tape the small end to the back of the
And
tie.
not with like nice. It looks like just a piece of Scotch tape
It
he
did.
grabbed out of the quick. Oh shit! Tape it down.
It appeared that way.
Yeah. Once you would think someone as rich as him could find someone to move the hoop up or something.
Well, they're Trump ties. You'd think, yeah, you'd think he'd just order them longer or something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Move the hoop.
Trump ties officially hoop moved. Since
Make the little
2010.
end longer. Something. One of the two.
Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty funny. God, I was talking to you yesterday off the show about this ghost ship warehouse in Oakland.
Yeah, who's this dude? The guy that leased it? Who I don't know. Did we have his interview on the other day?
No, because it
God,
was
he
on the
just-
Today Show,
Yeah.
and they just fuck with us if we play anything. So
This guy's a mess. Now, granted, this is an incredibly dramatic moment that they're
Derek
putting
Almina.
Yeah. Derek Almina is the guy who apparently leased the warehouse from the owner and then sublet it out to numerous people. And he's
Right.
under the gun right now because he's the one who apparently told people, hey, if regulators come by or whatever, hide your shit.
It sounds like everybody knew what was going on, you know, like they all kind of knew this was bullshit. But yeah, I mean, he was telling them, you know, let everyone know it's a 24-hour artist, you know, round-the-clock artist work den, when really they were just all living there. And it sounds like an absolute shithole. Death trap. And this guy sounds like a real piece of shit too. But you saw him on with Matt Lauer doing an interview. I didn't see that interview, but I don't think he came off well.
Awful.
Really.
Yes. You were watching it with me, right?
Oh yeah, he sounded like
Just sounded like a total stoner, number
yeah,
one.
he
And
sounded
then
like every
sounded
guy
like-
you would think of that would run something like
Yeah,
this. An
what-
artsy guy, just hey man, you're asking questions like that,
Yeah.
and how dare you,
I'm
man?
devastated, man. A time like this to throw questions at me like that, man. It was just over the top dramatic.
You could have asked me that when I'd rather. He talked about at one point. Remember him about how
I'd rather have the parents trample on me than be presented with questions like this, man.
What a piece of shit. He was talking to a local San Jose TV station and said that he felt himself to be like a grandfather to all the young artists that had lived in this warehouse, and they're my family.
Yeah. Oh, night of, by the way, he moved him and his family out to a hotel.
Yeah.
Just, you know, you can look at that two ways. Like, oh, he knows it's dangerous and he doesn't want to have his family sleeping there, or he knows there's going to be a rave there and his family needs some rest.
It's probably more like that, the
Probably.
rave thing. Like, how would he anticipate a fire? Although maybe he should have, because I'm reading stories and there were other fires there. It was kind of common.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'll get into it in a second, but his father-in-law, Michael Allison, I guess this guy's a teacher in Oakland, so he's married to this skank chick who you see in the interviews with him.
Just standing there.
Yeah. And so her dad has given some interviews and said that they are just heavy drug users. Michael Allison is his name. He described them as users of meth, heroin, crack, and said their 3 young children were taken away from them by social service authorities for months last year. They were found hungry, infested with lice, and not fed. Mr. Allison, or ill-clothed, excuse me, said he and family members tried to do an intervention like 18 months ago in the hope of helping Allison deal with her drug use, which had left her hands like claws.
What?
Yeah, I guess she's got like claw hands or something, he said, from drug use.
Huh.
I've never heard of that, but okay. This guy also said that he doesn't think that this Derek Alameda guy is capable of feeling any kind of remorse or guilt. I've never seen him ever really care about anyone. He surrounds himself with people who are going to treat him like he's some sort of guru. He thinks he's building this artistic empire, man.
Yeah, there he is.
Noel Gallo, a city councilman who lives like right down the street from this place, said, yeah, this guy had an attitude, a big attitude whenever they tried to deal with him. They were part of this alternative scene in California that revolved around Burning Man.
Oh God.
Yeah, there they are. There's a cute couple. Burning Man, other music festivals.
Burning Man is that I don't know. I haven't considered going to it, but I know it's right in there with EDC and EDM stuff.
Hell
I mean,
yeah. Also, spirituality and drugs. That was their scene, which is I guess that's fine if you're like 22 and don't have a family responsibility. Like whatever, you want to go to Burning Man and hang out, you want to live in the art scene, whatever. But at some point, the neighbor Phyllis Wakazu.
Is he playing a pan flute?
God damn it, I think he is. These drum circles. I'm
My
sorry.
God.
I love drums, but drum circles are just a nightmare. This rattle. Look at these dudes. They all think they're so original.
Yeah.
There's this pack of thing, whatever this thing is. This
Just expressing themselves, man.
totally. It's going. You're not original. Your drum circle and your Burning Man bullshit is going on in every hipster community in
You're
this
right.
fucking country.
Yeah.
Stop it. You're as original as Business Suit Guy. There's as many of you as there are Business Suit guys.
Goth guy.
There might actually be more of those guys than business suit guys these days. Just because I think, some people don't, a lot of people don't wear as much the full-on business suit anymore. There might be more of the guys like him, which is even less original, to your point.
The neighbor said she befriended the couple's oldest daughter, who was like 12 or 13. They realized the kids were totally neglected. The girl would stay with them during the party. So the dad and mom would be hosting these wild parties next door. And they're like, oh, my God, this kid's starving. So they bring her into their place and feed her. And but she said, so she's like, yeah, the kid took us over there to have a little tour of her house. And we went over there, and she said it was an absolute shithole.
Squalor.
Yeah, she said just art, quote, stacked up as far as the eye could see, like little rat cubby holes for you to like make your way through.
Yeah.
There's 25 people living there with one bathroom, one building, dark, dingy rooms, don't look fit for humans, exposed electrical wires and panels, venting pipes and piles of junk and old clothes everywhere. Shelley Mack was a tenant there, and she said that there were 3 fires while she lived there alone, caused by faulty electrics. They were isolated fires. A transponder blew up. Electrical sockets got overloaded. Everybody was aware the place was a fire hazard. There were power cords and extension cords hooked up to extension cords
People
everywhere.
just rigging stuff. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I get this corner over here. Well, I'm going to somehow get power over there and just start rigging.
It sounds like there was like an indoor RV park in there too. Like people had RVs in there that they would live in, including this Shelley Mack. She described being disturbed by 2 people who were just having sex in her trailer one day in the middle of the night. There was a sex orgy, like a swingers party held here on New Year's Eve, like 2014 going into 2015. They rented the place out for it. I said no. A bunch of other people said no, but they still went ahead with it. 200 to 300 people there.
Oh, shit.
2 floors of people. Organizers of the sex party didn't clean up properly. Used rubbers were found littered all over the floor.
There are people who don't want to do other things. If you want ice cream, you don't go to a barbecue shop.
All the carpets and furniture you see in the photos have either been pissed on by cats or were used in the orgy. Oh, God damn it. The floors offer little space to move, and quarters are like narrow little rat runs. Nails protrude from the stairs. The brick walls just like crumble and fall into the rooms. Several people lived inside this RV park in there. Cat shit and used rubbers are found on the floor. Junk and art is piled high in every room. Life there was hell. It was often freezing cold. Water and power were stolen from neighbors who would get angry and shut them off. She didn't know the dwelling was illegal until months after she moved in. She was instructed to tell visitors it was this 24-hour workspace. Pete Valou told CNN that even when he had no place to live, he turned down the offer from them to live there. He was like, they had asked me if I would move in several times. It was just too risky for me. It's a good example of people taking advantage of people because they had no other options, She said she began to log her problems, this Shelley Mack girl. We have umpteen people now and guests sharing one bathroom upstairs after 2 months. We have lost the bathroom and the sink in the building, so now all that is left is a small sink in the bathroom for everyone. She says we even wash our dishes in there. I feel like I'm in a third world company or country. Ugh.
Gross.
And he's going to go down for it, too.
Hey, stop and ask yourself, what can you get for under $100 these days? I don't know, maybe a corner of an Oakland warehouse,
Yep.
maybe a George Foreman grill, a Ginsu knife set, perhaps even Mike Lindell's My Pillow.
Yes.
Or for an extremely limited time, a brand new Ford Fusion or Ford Escape at Zott Ford and Holly. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas to you, my friend, because right now Zott Ford is leasing new 17 Ford Fusions and Ford Escapes for as little as $95 a month for only 24 short months. Surf their Holly Jolly deals and massive inventory at ZottFord.com.
Did you see Rashaan Salam died?
I heard a Heisman winner died. I didn't realize it was him.
You remember him?
Yeah,
from
it's like
Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
He won the, what was it, 94, I guess. He won the Heisman. Looks like he committed suicide in a park.
Former Bear, too, wasn't he?
Yep. Yeah, he won the Heisman as a junior. But yeah, they say he was found dead in a Boulder Park at the age of 42, apparent suicide. His mother said that a note had been found at the scene by police. He did win Rookie of the Year awards. I mean, he didn't have a real good NFL career.
Yeah.
He was Rookie of the Year, rushed for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns with the Bears. He had less success after that and was out of the league by 99. His mom said after finding out that he had committed suicide, "It's just a big trip. That's all I can say."
Oof. You hope for maybe something better from your mom.
It's just a trip.
That's all I can say.
It's just a big trip. That's all I can say. We found out this morning, and we're going to Colorado to take care of him. Adding, see you. Adding,
No. Hashtag.
no. That would almost be appropriate. She added, CU started winning this year, too. That was amazing. I guess everyone deals with grief differently.
They do.
I would think my mom would have something a little different than that to say.
That's bizarre.
It's just a big trip, man. Salam, yeah, he rushed for over 2,000 yards that junior season, too. One of 4 guys to do that in college. But yeah, he got into the drug scene pretty early on.
Okay, I was gonna say this isn't a concussion thing that they're gonna like pull his
Maybe.
brain out and be like, oh yeah, look, half his brain is dead.
Maybe I mean, when his career, I think he figured that was the reason why his career fell like it did. I guess he was smoking weed a lot, but he was quoted as saying years later, like, yeah, it's as potent as cocaine, which I don't know if I agree with, but it slowed him enough. He wasn't working as hard, and that's really one of those professions where, you know, there are plenty of professions out there where drugs, you can get away with doing some drugs. I would think pro sports isn't one of them, you know, where you're not going to be able to pull that off. But
Yeah, perform at that high level every week.
yeah, just the stamina alone needed and the work that goes into it.
Yeah.
But what a sad story, man. I guess you never know how someone's, you know, where someone's at. But God, to go into a park,
Pretty grim, dude.
shoot yourself. Ugh.
It shows how alone he probably was.
Yeah, sad. Terribly sad. Not so sad. Georgia had killed their 9th inmate yesterday on the year.
Way to go, Georgia.
I know, right?
It's pretty good.
Bad.
Did we get double digits by the end of the year, you think, or no?
We will, because I think they're scheduled to do another one soon.
Damn,
if I'm
nice.
not mistaken. Bill Saley, his time of death was 10:05 last
Do
night.
we know his last meal?
Oh, we do. He
It's
was.
going to be ridiculous.
You would think it's not as ridiculous as you'd think. It's not healthy. Let me just state that right now. I mean, his caloric intake is something that's going to have to be looked at, because it's absurd how many calories he had for his last meal. But he did the pentobarbital injection
Yep.
at the state prison after a last meal of pizza with sausage and pepperoni, chicks and wings with buffalo sauce, and a large soda.
Why are we giving these people a meal like that?
Can they get alcohol? Can they not
Don't
get
even
alcohol?
feed them. Just lead them to the damn gurney and do it.
Yeah. Didn't we look this up before and
yes.
figure out what the last meal was
Stupid.
about? Didn't it go back to like witch times or something?
I don't remember what it was. It's
So that they wouldn't
ridiculous.
come back and haunt you as a ghost?
Yeah, that was. I think it had something to do with it.
I thought it was something like that.
Can we turn the page? I swear to God, just
I'm
screw
fine
these
with
people.
that.
We're about to kill them. Just kill them.
Does this? He was asked to make a final statement if he wanted. I respect the guys that are like, go fuck yourself. Like those guys that are just badass to the last minute. You know, hey, I meant to do it. Go to hell.
This guy turned into a Sally, did he?
I'll see you in hell, sons of bitches. And they
Double
just
fingers.
yeah, fuck all of you. You know?
Then they refused to die in the first injection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they start foaming at the mouth. But they went out, you know,
Hardcore, man.
hardcore. Yeah, they never gave in. And this guy kind of buckled. I just want to say I'm very, very sorry for my crimes.
What?
I really am sorry.
You pussy.
I prayed about it many times. I'm just very, very sorry for everything. I ask for your
What kind of
forgiveness.
serial killer are you, dude?
Well, he wasn't a serial killer. But they said he after a minute. So the warden is like, all right, dude, you know, final words and this and that. And then the warden leaves the room, and that's when they inject him. He put his head down, yawned, and then closed his eyes and started breathing deeply. About 2 minutes after the warden left, his body twitched 5 or 6 times. His shoulders lifted slightly off the gurney, but his eyes were closed the whole time. Within a minute or so, he was dead. Not bad.
I'm glad he didn't seem to have suffered at the end.
So this guy had, I guess, was known to beat the dog shit out of his wife. And so she didn't hang in there for that. She was like, all right, I'm not just going to keep being beaten by this dude. So she split and was living with her parents after filing for divorce. So these two, this guy and his wife, had fought bitterly. It had some bitter custody battle going on over their young son. And so he went over to his in-laws, cut their phone lines, broke into their house about 12:45 in the morning, so almost 1 a.m. And then this guy went to the master bedroom and shot John and Linda Moore. John ended up dying, so her parents. And then he kidnapped his wife and sister, took them to his mobile home, and then left the son behind for some reason. He did end up releasing his wife and sister that night and was arrested a short time later. His lawyers have always said, oh, it was just a botched attempt to steal his kid.
Killed one person?
Yeah.
My God, man, this guy was a pussy the whole time.
I know, right?
Jeez, I thought this guy was hardcore.
Not really. I mean, he got the death penalty, though. In addition to the 9 executions in Georgia this year, Texas. What the fuck is going on with Texas?
They lagging?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, aren't they? That's just the way it is. Texas,
Behind the average? What do they usually do?
they're at 7 this year.
Oh, Texas.
Georgia is beating Texas in execution. Stop it. Alabama, Florida, and Missouri have carried out 1 execution each for a total of 19 this year.
Yeah, Missouri got all hung up on the injection process and all that. Remember that?
Did they have a botched one or something?
Well, we did that story a couple years ago where the guy, like, I don't know, was in pain or something.
His throat was scratchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everybody freaked out. All these, liberal lawyers ran to the courts and
Yeah.
put a stop to everything. So
I just don't. It seems like it should be the easiest thing on the planet to do. Like this thing where companies get involved and like, we don't want to be responsible for supplying the drugs.
Yeah.
All right, fine. Boom! Shoot him in the face. Whatever. You're killing them. The only possible way they're going to feel pain or anything is if you inject them with just a bunch of poison shit and then they just foam and shake for 6 minutes. There's an easy way to fix that. Shoot him in the face! God damn it. Kim Jong-un knows how to do this
Yeah.
better.
anti-aircraft missile.
Dude, I'm telling you, at best, maybe you see a muzzle flash,
Oh,
maybe.
Oh,
And then it's just smithereenies. Existence no more.
yeah.
That's how I'd want to go out. Jay,
What do we have?
look at that dude.
That's a dude? Are we sure?
Yeah, that's a dude.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, there's no flower in its hair. I guess it must be a dude. It's pretty androgynous.
Well, you can tell by looking at he's a white older male, so you automatically know he did something creepy, right?
Oh, yeah. He looks like a creeper for sure.
Yeah.
Ice cream man? What is he?
No, he wasn't an ice cream man. He was
Masturbator?
well, I'm sure. Yeah, most men are. But he was caught on closed circuit television going through Walmart like he was shopping and then trying to look up skirts of women.
Come on, man. Again, where did this guy get enough testosterone to pull this off? He's what, 75?
I don't know how old he is. His name's Alan Ralph. I don't think he's that old. But yeah, I got to show you this video.
So this
Jay.
is him on the right?
Yeah. That's
It'll
him on
be
the-
obvious.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be obvious which one he is.
Yeah, when he's laying on the ground.
The balls, dude.
Look at this guy.
Oops. Alan.
Watch someone. These are. Look at this. Look at this one. This one's funny. I mean, it's not funny,
Oh,
but
she almost bent over. Yep, saw
What a
something there.
creep.
Dude, he's
Oh, my God. He's on his knees. He's on his hands
right
and knees.
behind her.
Did she catch him?
I think so. And he's like, oh, I was just looking
Like,
for some
just
insure over here.
Fuck.
Yeah. There he is.
Bold do you have to be?
They have an arrow pointing him out as if we wouldn't have known. Oh, anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Well-
the same chick. He is infatuated with this one.
What is the hope to see there?
It's
Is
the
it-
end game, dude. What is the end game?
That is so.
It-
I like this one.
He's not taking photos, right? So he's not. It's not like you could argue. Well, he's trying to load up a website and make money. No, he's just
No.
putting that in the bank.
Look at that.
Wow, what a deviant!
Dude, that is so. I don't know. Seeing it on video like this is so.
See it go down. You read about it, you're like, what a creep. But yeah, you see this go down, and woo.
Like, think about that. You're in your local Meijer or Walmart or Kroger, and seeing some guy like he's actively searching out. They said he went to this place a few times, actively searching for just a woman in a skirt.
Animal.
And it doesn't matter. Like it wasn't some supermodel there shopping. I mean, not that should matter anyways, but you know, it's just like just some mom there in a skirt in the middle of the afternoon doing her grocery shopping, and he's like literally on his hands and knees, like between her legs, turning his head, looking up her skirt. Fuck, ladies, can I apologize on behalf of just men in general? That is so bad. That you have
No,
to
that is
worry
a
about
miswiring. You do not have to take that on as a male.
No woman
that
has
is-
ever done that.
Of course
no
they
black
haven't.
man has ever done that.
Of course they haven't.
This is a specific white man issue, and I feel the need to let women know that no one in this room, I think I can speak for you, right? No
It's
white
so
man in this
ridiculous.
room.
I can't. The balls, dude. Like, not even that it's wrong. I get totally, but the balls. To
We
be
all
like,
agree it's
go
wrong,
on
right?
The
ground.
drive is so strong.
Did you see, like, dude, the one liked, where
I just
he's
like it
standing there
'cause
with
it's
a
like-
coat,
he's like, oh.
and she's like half bends over, and he's like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, I might get a look at that panty
Right.
shot.
What do you? Yeah, you're gonna get a glimpse of some sensible panty on a 56-year-old woman. Like, what are we?
Sensible panty.
What do you think you're gonna see on that?
Yeah.
God,
Anyway.
just banking it away for later,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. Oh, Alan. Sergeant Mike Doomer said this was a purposeful event on his part. It wasn't something he did on happenstance.
Oh, really?
Creep.
You can see him wandering around the store in various different shots looking for victims. They also believe there are more women, and they've been trying to identify, who else Mr. Ralph has gone looking after. But, God, there are creeps everywhere. And then, not to, I don't like focusing too much on international stories, but this cop in
New Mexico.
New Mexico, yeah. One of these dudes, like the pizza delivery girl, delivers a pizza to his house, and he answers the door butt-ass naked.
A cop?
Yes. He was a cop. He's been put on administrative leave after he answered the door nude.
What? It's my house.
Bill Gonzalez was cited for indecent exposure. She showed up at his house around 5:30, one day last week. When she arrived, she walked through an open sunroom door. She made her way to the front door. This dude is just standing there nude. And he made no attempts to conceal himself. He claimed he just got out of the shower, but the woman said his hair wasn't wet.
You gotta wet your hair or something if you're gonna do this.
Gotta hit the kitchen sink real quick at least, right?
Come
she's here.
on. Put a little effort into this. Not that
wouldn't
you
you
shouldn't be
even-
doing it, but
I think you could even maybe do to pull it off. You hit the sink, wet the hair, put a towel on,
Then
but have
have
it
the towel
loosely
fall.
wrapped.
Oh, gee.
Oh wow! Look at my huge dick fell out. Oh, how embarrassing for me.
No,
Then-
that's a whole different category of deviance. This is just flat
Straight
out.
up.
Straight
Look
up,
at
yeah.
my dick.
Yeah, the drop the towel thing's a whole different
You think so?
chapter.
I will, and I would never do it. But I have like thought when you stay at hotels, like, what would the odds be? Like, you wait till like when it's definitely like they're coming down. You're staying in the room past checkout. The maid comes out. I've always just wondered what would the odds be if you just
laid there naked in the middle of the bed.
Oh, and then
What the odds are? What that she'd go? Oh, sweet! I want to
Have
bang
sex
you.
with you,
Come on,
yes.
E. 0.00.
I don't know.
You can't say 0-0. I've seen movies where women do that.
A lot of times they're the foreign ladies. They don't speak the language. I don't know.
All the more reason they would reject your tard ass
I'm
laying
not
naked
gonna
in
do
a
it.
bed.
I'm not even gonna. I would never do it. I'm never ever gonna do it. I have wondered if it. I don't know. I know that sounds.
He's
weird.
got a fantasy.
Well, that's not what.
The Spanish made fantasy.
Son of a.
Oh, you should try it one day and see
No,
how far
I
you
will
get. See
never
what
do it.
happens. I hope a male.
I'll never do it. But and I have no interest in doing it. I just had a. I don't know.
So this guy, Officer Bill Gonzalez, so she goes back to her pizza restaurant or Domino's, wherever she was working, and tells her boss, and they end up calling the police, and so they send Officer
They end
Ramon
up
over there.
calling him.
They get him on the phone. I'll look into this, sir. So Officer Roman goes over there. He receives a call, and so he goes over to talk to this guy, and the cop's like, "Oh man, bro,
Bill, any truth to this?
hook a brother up, man." And so he tries to persuade the woman not to file a police report. He knows that's where he'll be in trouble. Officer Roman receives a call then from Officer Gonzalez on his personal cell phone about an hour later, asking him to keep the situation 1035, which is confidential, code for confidential. This pizza driver said she delivered a pizza to this same home, and that Gonzalez had answered the door wearing only basketball shorts, which I don't have a problem with that. You know, if you just answer the door in shorts,
Yeah.
that's fine. She says she didn't file a report because he apologized, but I don't.
Maybe he's got a big rod. You know how those loose basketball shorts are. You know,
Yeah,
you can see
maybe.
the head through it.
Well, what if he had someone from like the 80s or the late 80s,
There
early
you go.
90s?
He's wearing Zeke shorts, head's poking out
Just
the
a
bottom.
helmet coming out the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I
gee, my
apologize.
bad.
I just wander around my
Sorry
house.
about that. So Roman starts getting text messages from Gonzalez later, saying, "What's the word, bro? Damn, bro, is it looking bad?"
Yeah, he couldn't have anticipated anything like this, right? I mean, I just answered the door naked for a pizza chick.
Again, honestly, what is your end game? I mean, if you,
Think about this. How does he know it's a chick who's coming to
That's
deliver
what I
the
was just
pizza?
wondering. Unless has he got it? Has he ordered? Well, she said he did it another time. Does
Yeah.
he know at this point that this chick is the one? Like, has he done some test runs or?
That's
But
her
even that-
territory.
But even then, I don't know how. I guess I don't
Well,
know how the
I-
pizza delivery system works. Like,
you could look out the window and see a car or see that, oh, it's the girl. Disrobe really quick. Oh, it just caught me off guard. I was just getting out of the shower. Pull that move.
Yeah.
But again, end game. I mean, and I just don't understand what you expect. What do you think she's going to go, oh, my God, hot, and come in and blow you or
Yeah,
bang
dude,
you?
you're
Like,
watching way too many pornos. That just, I can't imagine in real life how seldom that happens.
Yeah. It must.
Has to be a perfect. It must not.
It must for guys to
the
keep
only
trying.
time that's
No,
happening to me, dude, is-
it works in pornos, dude. I think people are getting way too into shit like that, and they're thinking it's real life. I would never say it must work in real life.
I bet. Well, we can ask listeners to email us if they've ever been a lawn guy that on a regular route or a pool boy. Like it's usually the pool guy, the maintenance guy, pizza delivery guy.
No.
at
Here's
least
how
from
it
the
works.
movies.
Here's the only stories we're going to hear is a chick wanting
exactly.
to get
Yes.
with the pool
of course.
boy.
That's what I was
Well,
gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah, yeah.
Yes.
We're not going to hear about a woman worker who
That's
then
true.
gets turned on by the guy homeowner.
No,
I
you're
can't,
right.
I can't
No.
control myself.
Of course, it won't.
And if she is, she certainly isn't hot.
You're either going to have a guy homeowner who then hits on a male pool boy, or some gross chick, housewife chick who hits on the pool boy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fair enough. Oh man. Yeah, that's tough. I wonder. Well, you're right. There's probably never in history been a time where you had some hot chick show up
It can't. No.
and there's just a dude there and she's like, oh yeah.
right.
And the guy goes,
absurd.
oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't have enough to cover the cost of this pizza. There's other forms of
Yeah.
payment if you know what I mean.
You don't have to worry about that.
How about you let me suck your dick and we'll call it even on your pizza? Yeah, that's never happened.
No.
I would agree. Okay, you're right. 100% of the time that won't happen.
But we will take your stories, listeners, if you have those kind of pool boy stories.
Yeah, I am fascinated by those. Like some dudes working in the backyard and the chick,
Well, it's like I told you
the
about that.
mom, the whatever.
I told you about that time that I was mad at the porter because he had a chance to go in the house. It was like a college age girl. He was like dropping off a car. The parents were gone, and she even was like, "Hey, you want to come in and drink? Get some water or something? It's hot out." And he's like, "No," and just stood in the car. I was like, "You
Dude.
fucking idiot!"
You might not have been there, Mike, when we worked at Aldingbrook. We were groundskeepers at a luxury apartment complex for a couple
Yeah.
summers in a row.
Yeah.
I don't know that you were there then when that guy was hitting on me and Dan. No.
What?
Nope.
There was a series of weeks where this guy kept coming around trying to get me and Dan.
He worked there, or I mean, not. I mean,
He
had a
lived
house.
there.
He lived
He
there.
lived
there. Okay.
And he just first off just seemed like a nice guy,
Yeah.
He just thought, "Hey guys, you're doing a good job,
Yeah.
good job working around we were groundsmen, so we're
Yeah.
weeding shit and all
Isn't
that."
this where like Tony Phillips lived? And
Yeah,
weren't
yeah,
there some
yeah.
Pistons or Tigers
Yeah,
that lived in
Joe
there?
Dumars lived there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so nice place, right?
Yeah.
And so we're just doing our thing, and this guy just kept coming around, and Dan and I are like, "Holy shit, man! This guy's clearly hitting on us." I mean, obviously it didn't go.
What would
any-
he say? What things would he say?
It was just very like, "Yeah, if you ever want to do some side work, you can come on by my apartment." I
You
got-
sure you weren't reading this? Could it possibly be that he was just a nice guy? He didn't want to
Dude,
blow you?
it happened over and over and over. Finally, we just started completely avoiding the guy. Like we'd see his car in the driveway and we'd
Yeah.
take off to the other side of the complex. I mean, it got really like, what is up with this guy? He wants to have a threesome with me and Dan.
Oh, humans.
That's
Guys.
hilarious, man.
He was
Well,
probably like 65 years old too.
God, that would suck,
Little
dude.
dumpy bald guy. We're like,
I hope I have no sex drive when I'm 65. If I make it to 65, I hope
you're getting
it's
close, dude. I hope you do because it's right around the corner, man.
I know it is, but
Why don't
dude,
we push that forward a little bit? Maybe
Because-
85? 65, man. Come on.
He's not gonna make it to 85.
Yeah, there's no chance of me making it to 85.
You might be one of those like George Burns cockroach kind of guys, you know?
Yeah, but let's just for conversation's sake assume Beth is long done with me. Like she's not going to put up with me for much longer. So if she's gone and I never find another person,
Why wouldn't you want to be banging until you're 65 or later than 65?
because I think,
think
of it
about
like,
your parents. How
Don't.
I mean, picture Bob swinging in.
But he found the love of his life, but like
Your
I'm
mom,
not.
her dime-sized nipples laying there on the
Yeah,
butt.
I got it. I'm not like much to like go out there. I'm not going to go. I'm too old to go to a bar, and I'm only going to get older. It's not like there's going
Yeah,
to
and
be
you're
a
not going to
resurgence.
have any money. If you had money, that would be great, right?
Right.
'Cause
Then
you're
I
like
could just pay
65.
someone to. Yeah. Right. Exactly. Come over, blow me, do the laundry, and then whatever. Like
And get the hell out.
and then get out. Yeah. I'd be fine with that. That'd be fine. But assuming I never go out and date, I'm not going to do the online thing. I'm not going to go to a bar or the traditional thing.
Then
so
you just want to turn it off. And you
Beca-
don't
but
even
then
want that temptation. You
I
don't even
d-
want
dude,
your
I don't-
loins filling with
I don't.
with
Sorry.
lust.
Well, what I don't want to do is be that guy.
Loins.
I don't want to end up being like some creepy mugshot, fat-faced idiot with silver
Well,
hair.
Just don't do something deviant like going to Walmart and
But he's
looking
gonna
under
want to have
skirts.
sex. He's saying if his
That's
sex
what I'm
drive is still
saying.
going, and
If-
dude.
Then you meet a nice 65-year-old lady
No.
and hunker down.
Oh man. But if I don't
What would you
meet
be
that-
offering that's a premium? See, that's the problem.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you need to hunker down with a 65-year-old peer. Unless you can offer a premium in terms of
I don't know
good
that I
looks or
offer.
money.
I don't offer any of those things though. I don't offer good looks or money. So I'm stuck. And then I'm only going to get uglier and grosser.
So a 65-year-old woman, you're no interest in it, even though you're 65.
I don't know where I'd meet her. Where am I going to meet this 65-year-old?
It's a
Seriously.
Walmart
McDonald's.
or McDonald's breakfast.
A McDonald's drive-through.
No, you sit there in the morning when you're
Are
reading
there-
the paper and having your coffee and complaining about how the senior coffee is too expensive.
Yeah, good pointy.
Are there a lot of single, mildly attractive, available 65-year-olds
No, but what
that
happens
are
is
just
a
waiting
lot of
for me?
spouses start dying off then.
Oh, yeah.
So you could pick up a decent one on a rebound.
You just have to hang around the senior community centers.
That's right. Play a little shuffleboard.
I'd rather just not have a drive anymore, and because I fear.
Well, you could cut off
The
your
ideal
nuts.
now.
Well, I just fear like I don't understand what drives these guys. It must be an outrageous sex drive,
And an inability to get a partner
yeah,
and
of
have like
some
a
sort.
normal sexual experience.
And
But the thing is,
so they
sometimes
find
they
someone
do,
younger,
though.
even if it's a 50-year-old, they find that and it's just like, oh man, I wonder what kind of panties she's wearing.
Yeah, sensible, no doubt.
Yeah. Because I guarantee I can't guarantee, but if you went back and that guy was 35 or 40, would he be like that, or did he?
If he consumed
evolve
as much
into that?
porn as he probably has up till now, yeah, he's probably that way.
You think?
I think most of these dudes are just they've gone down the slippery slope of deviance, man.
Yeah.
I think they've gone through the regular stuff, and they're just into.
Must be just certain ones, because there are plenty of people who are into nasty shit, porn stuff, and they don't end up doing that. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just the wiring in those individuals, but I don't know. I'd rather not have a sex drive then, and I don't have to worry about it.
God, we're peeling the onion on this guy a little bit, E, aren't we? How about the extra content from yesterday?
Yeah.
Let's not
You
say
wanna
what.
talk
No,
about-
well, let's just tease it a little, and say, "Have you ever peed sitting down, E?"
Not for
That's
the
not
sole
really
reason
a
of pee.
tease.
No.
It's not really a tease. For the record,
Members area content, everybody. On our website, DetroitCast.com, you'll find an area over to the right, the top tab, members area. Click on that. You'll see a few different levels that you can become a member at and access some other content, whether it be video or audio content that we throw down. And I'm referring to one in particular that we posted yesterday.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Hate getting double teamed by you guys, honestly. Anyway, you familiar with Tufts? It's tough to say. Tufts University.
I've heard of that.
I wouldn't go there just because of the name. Where do you go to school? Tufts
Yeah.
University. I feel like I had
Tufts.
Tourette's every time I say it. Tufts.
Yeah, where is that?
It's in Massachusetts. I go to Tufts University in Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. That's hard. Anyway, they have suspended all social activity at their fraternities while they investigate alleged at this point sexual misconduct during hazing rituals.
That's really astounding.
The trouble started back on November 7th when a gay student, there's that gay student, you can see, a little Big E with look to him, skinny.
Wearing yellow overalls.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't picture that dude joining a frat. Maybe a gay frat, right? Wouldn't you recommend? Do they have gay frats?
I don't know.
E, do they have gay frats?
Don't know.
Can you look it up?
Probably.
See if there are gay frats.
Sure there are.
So this gay student, Ben Kesslin, wrote an article headlined "Abolish Fraternities" in his student newspaper, which is the Tufts Observer. So Mr. Kessler claims that he joined this frat. He was enforced to go through their pledging ritual,
Sure.
which started with him being blindfolded and brought into a basement of a house that was off campus. He was told it was going to be a fun night. And he was given a shot of whiskey.
And then the goat showed up.
So far, so good, though, right?
Yeah.
Not bad. Shot of whiskey. You're going downstairs to party. Then they brought in 2 women.
Oh, no.
They proceeded to disrobe the women and have sex with each other, which, they just kind of
Yeah. Start grinding, scissoring.
grinding in vagines.
And he was forced to watch.
Oh, he was.
This
So
hazing has got to stop, Mike.
it's out of control. That's what happened to this poor gentleman. Forced to watch 2 hot chicks skizzer with each other.
Sounds like the easiest fraternity hazing ever.
I agree. So these chicks are getting it on. Well, we were all told to watch. He said he was also forced to watch sex acts between male students and the women. So a couple dudes came in and started banging him, and he was forced to watch that. I watched on the
See, I
outside.
always assume that's a blowjob in that instance. Would you assume that they're banging the women there?
Oh, maybe. Yeah,
When I
blowjob.
hear sex acts with some of the students and the women, I figure, stripper shows up and gives these guys blowjobs.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
For an added $75.
Yeah.
Is that fair? 75?
I've heard
Very
50,
fair.
but
Yeah, I was going to say 50.
I've
Okay.
heard 50 for blowjobs in the bathroom,
Okay.
for instance.
75 for 2.
In fact, I probably shouldn't say whose bachelor party it was. That was hard. That might get some people in trouble. But I was at a bachelor party where a girl did handstands and went and had all the guys sit in a circle, like ring around the Rosie there, and just went handstand and had a dildo in her hand and handed it to each guy. And then we all got to take turns like churning butter. And then she
Doesn't
would
even sound hot to me.
and then she would go to the next one and flip up and like throw her vagine right in their face and you just churn butter really
Was it
quick.
an added cost for that?
No, that was part of it. And then there
Part
were
of the dealio?
there were a lot of bitches at this particular gentleman's bachelor party.
Yeah?
And then there were a couple of them that offered, I think it was either hand jobs or blowjobs. I want to say blowjobs because hand jobs are not that.
Remarkable.
Yeah. I want to say they were $50 to $75, somewhere in that range for a quick beater in the bathroom. And I don't think anyone took them up on it, if I'm not mistaken. But I will not say whose bachelor party it was. Not going down that road. So anyway, this guy turned his eyes. He was horrified, disgusted, standing next to the seniors in the frat, who were all enraptured by the scene. Fraternities claim to be founded on values like brotherhood, loyalty, and trust, but in reality are institutions rooted in white supremacy, queerphobia, heterosexism, and transphobia. Did he need to try to join a frat to learn that? Ben, come on, man. Seriously? What did you think was going to go on in the
We're going
frat?
to see some malfeasance, you know?
Tough,
Guys are pigs.
Tufts Panhellenic Council also condemned the conduct that he described. We are thankful that Ben courageously brought this to light in his article. We condemn both the sexual assault and sexual harassment reported by Kesslin. We are disgusted and horrified that this is happening within the organizations from which we work. The school has issued a cease and desist order to 4 fraternities. Administrators said that all fraternities would be required to participate in sexual misconduct prevention training, alcohol education sessions, and training with a national hazing prevention expert. Can you think of a group of gentlemen who are going to be more bored to tears and not listening to your sexual misconduct prevention training, alcohol education session training, and national hazing prevention expert than 4 Roosevelt fraternity brothers?
Oh, this kid. He's going to get beat up, isn't he?
Probably. Anyway, I feel bad for him. That kind of sucks. But, dude, honestly,
Hold on. Why do you feel bad for him?
well, you shouldn't be forced to. Wow.
Dude, you're pledging a frat. The shit they make you do,
Yeah.
like, they make everybody do that shit. They probably would, if they knew he was gay, okay, we'll show you 2 dudes pounding and whatever,
Yeah.
if that's what you prefer. We'll have dude, it's ridiculous.
I just don't know if there were. I didn't realize there were people out there. Like, we've both been to fraternity parties. They're madness. Like, make no mistake about it. They're drunken messes.
Well, they're not as big a deal as you see in the movies, but I will say that what I've heard of pledging is it's awful.
Yeah. I think Derek was kidnapped and taken across state lines
Yeah.
at one point, like in the trunk of a car. when
No,
he-
I'm surprised they didn't have 2 goats fucking and have his face underneath said Congress.
waiting for them to finish
Yeah.
and then on his face.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. I know it's common for them to.
Wow,
be
they had strippers. Oh my God, these strippers engaged in some sort of Congress.
Yeah. I wouldn't be shocked at all if it was like, yeah, when we pledged, they made us pick up apples with our, get nude, pick up apples with our ass cheeks and carry them over to another fraternity brother's face and let him eat the apple out of our ass.
Totally.
Like that would be something you could totally
Yeah.
see them doing. So,
And then people outside the fraternity go, "Wow, that's awesome." You're
Yeah.
buying your friends and
Yeah.
eating apples out of their asses. Okay.
yeah, sounds like fun. Anyway, so Ben is terribly upset, but I would think, are there gay frats? Did you look it up?
I mean, yeah.
Imagine what goes on in those things. Woo!
I mean,
In this environment, shouldn't everybody just be accepting of whatever sexuality you are?
Sure.
I mean, really, should we distinguish and make a gay frat?
that's a good
or-
point. But that's nonetheless. These are just ones I think that these are the ones down here.
He's friendly. Lambda, lambda, lambda.
Delta
Omega
Lambda
Mu.
Pi. Okay, so that one's for...
Lambda, lambda, lambda did have Lamar Luttrell. They were early on.
yes.
And that,
The black guy.
yeah, and they even made the custom javelin for him, if you recall.
Oh, was it dildos?
No, it was just
or just floppy.
Remember, he just threw like a chick.
Yeah.
and it just flopped extra for him, and when he threw like a chick, it just launched.
Yeah. Then we've got the Delta Lambda Pi fraternity for gay, bis, transgender, and progressive men. All right. The Sigma Phi Beta, frat for gay, straight, bi, tranny men, which split off from the Alpha Lambdas, Alpha Lambda Tau, which is now defunct. And the Alpha Nu frat, the first fraternity in the Philippines for anyone who identifies themselves as men, regardless of sexual orientation. So there's a few of them out there. Interesting groups. Anyway, why don't we take a quick break, grab ourselves a coffee, and tell you about this chick. Well, there's one that's selling her virginity, another one of those.
Oh God!
I know, don't you love those? And then another chick who's got lost on a marathon run.
I like this story.
I don't know how that's possible, but we'll look into it. We'll do that more next.
The Detroit Cast continues after this short break.
Hey, it's Steve Gabarra, the general manager at Zod Ford and Holly. We're much closer than you think, and we specialize in getting folks out of their lease up to 12 months early. It doesn't matter what brand or how many miles you have on it. The team at Zod Ford will assist in terminating your current lease with no penalties and hook you up with a sweet new Ford. So dump your overpriced, over-mileage lease and let your friends at Zod Ford make your wildest dreams come true. Check out our astonishing deals and massive inventory at ZodFord.com.
The Detroit Cast continues now, bitches. Here's Mike and Jay.
All right, welcome back to the Detroit Cast. Mike and Jay. Of course, Biggie is here too. I mentioned before the break, this woman who was lost in a marathon run.
Half marathon at that.
Yeah. You guys make the distinction. They're both the same to me. 13, 22.
For someone who's ran a few
13
marathons,
and 22. Would you
I would
distinguish
say
between those?
I would distinguish between it.
13 and 26.
Is it 26.2 miles?
Yeah.
Is that what it is? So, she was doing 13.1. And she's down in Florida. And, yeah, I got lost during my marathon run.
Go ahead.
She was found after nightfall.
Oh, no.
Yeah, after wandering around a 25,000-acre park for 12 hours.
So she was it wasn't a cityscape. This was like a trail run or something.
Yeah, I guess. Melissa Kitcher is her name.
I guess that is way more excusable than being in a city, righty?
No, it is different.
I mean,
a trail run is different.
You still at some point do have the sun, moon, and stars, however, to guide you.
Well, and I don't think it should take long. Like, if you're, if you're remotely decent, you should be amongst people. Like, I don't think that you should be.
Yeah, how do you lose touch with all humanity?
That's what I would think. Like,
There's usually
even if you
10,000
suck,
runners or
there's
something.
usually
Maybe she was so far out ahead.
Yeah, that must have been it.
you would think someone would be coming up behind you or in front of you, but I don't know. She apparently says she made a wrong turn more than 3 miles in.
She zigged when she
3
should have
miles
zagged.
in, only 3 miles in.
Yeah,
A 13-mile. See, that's even more not excusable or inexcusable to me because you're only 3 miles
Should be
in.
packed in with
How is
others.
she not with people? Like, what do you mean? you
Maybe
made a
there's
wrong-
like 8 people in this marathon, dude. We don't know how well attended this
Maybe
was.
it's a very, very.
Everybody and their brothers having a run now, you know?
Yeah, it could be, but 3 miles in.
I would think if you set up a marathon, and you guys would know better than me, I would think it would be like flagged off or roped off, and that you're running on a very specific route. Like that's
I
the part
did-
that's
I did
confusing to
literally-
me. Even if it's a trail run,
I've
you're on
done
a
trail runs, and the way that you mark it typically is just a ribbon, like a fluorescent
Yeah.
ribbon. You turn right at that, or you turn left at that.
Oh,
And I mean, people get lost in those runs that we were doing, this series of runs, but you found your way back after 100 yards.
It shouldn't
at
take very
best.
long before you realize I haven't seen a ribbon or I haven't seen
Right.
a
Then you
spray
turn
paint on
around
this
and you
dirt.
find the last one.
Yeah.
But
Well-
she just kept running,
just
head down,
the race director,
earbuds in.
Theory
Kelly
Roulard.
Clarkston on the earbuds.
Yeah, hell yeah. The race director, Terry Rouillard, says he had no idea she was still on the trail until her husband called late Sunday afternoon, hours after the Trail Hog run had finished. He's like, yeah, seen my wife? She says her cell phone froze before the race, but she never really worried since she knew her family would come looking for her.
Next day.
God, how terrifying would that be if you're like the husband at home? Like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, this is a
sure.
big day. She's going on this run.
You shouldn't even be at home. What do you mean at home? Like, I feel like he would
Should be at the finish line.
right, waiting.
Well, then it would have been found much easier. But he had better shit to do. I'm not going to go hang out at the finish line. Remember that time I went with Beth to the, what was that mud? What's the mud one?
There's
Run, I
many.
guess. Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Warrior Dash, Tough Mudder.
Tough Mudder. She did Tough Mudder, and it was the most miserable fucking day of my life. It was like, yeah, I'll go be supportive and, just kind of walk around. Dude, I was so angry at that thing because I hated every minute, and it was everything. I had to walk everywhere.
You get so pissy when you have to walk.
Oh, dude, I was furious. Fucking furious.
What's taking her so long?
No, because it was like it took forever. Like finally, I was with one of her friends. One of her girlfriends wasn't running. I think she was in a cast or something. And so I was kind of tagging along with her. And
Trying not to come off as a total dick, right?
and I didn't really know her, but then it was like, fuck, I don't. This sucks. And finally, it started. I think it started to rain at one point. I was like, oh, I can't do this. There was no real food there. Everybody brought
Think
trail
of the
mix or something.
contestants.
Right.
Think of the runners.
who had been training for, but they've been training
those
for
poor
it.
bystanders.
And so
What did you have going on that
bystanding.
day that you couldn't stand
nothing,
around?
nothing. But it just sucked, and it was wet and cold and rainy. And I remember going at one point like, You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to the car. Find me afterwards. And it was like a 2-mile walk. I felt like I worked out more than anybody. It was like a 2-mile
You
walk back to the car.
For the
and
record, you did not.
I heard you the first time, and then I had to go over one of these bridges across a freeway.
Oh, no.
Into this godforsaken parking lot, and I couldn't find my car. It was a nightmare. I wanted to key cars. I was so fucking mad, and I didn't know who to vent to. So
So you probably did when Beth got back to the car. That probably went over really well, didn't it?
oh, I don't think I spoke. I think I had a car full of people who were like, "Oh, yeah, see my time on the log jump
Yeah.
and the how about that ice bath we had to jump in?" And I was just like, "Fuck all you people, fuck all you."
Well, it's
people.
good that you can go and be supportive of your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Clap her through the finish.
It would be, you know what I would
Oh,
say.
I didn't even meet her at the finish. I was like, no.
I mean, I know you've done it, I guess, Jay, but it would be a full marathon, half marathon. I mean, you're talking about standing there in a trail run. You're not going to be in the trail, so you really would probably just be like, here they go.
Yeah, you've never just spectated at a run before.
I guess I haven't. I've only been in them.
Oh, you're right. It does take a while. It's kind of boring. A couple hours, just got to kill. But
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't want to do that. Plus, they have bombs that go off at the finish lines of those things sometimes.
That's what I've heard.
And so I wouldn't want any part of that. I'm wondering, 12 hours in the woods. You're shitting in the woods, right? Probably.
Yeah, especially after a run, I would think. Yeah.
Yeah. So this chick was probably shitting in the woods. You wouldn't have food. It's not like you'd find a concession
Yeah,
stand.
that
in the
would
middle-
be.
It'd be hard.
That would be getting to a point where it'd be like, dude, I'm fucking hungry.
Not really dressed appropriately for a night over in the woods,
No,
right?
probably
That's
wearing
right.
some Spanx or some leggings and a tight.
They're down in Florida, so I mean,
Oh,
I suppose that would make it nicer than if you were here. That would be a real problem if you were here.
Yeah, add venomous snakes and and alligators. It does
Ugh.
not make it nicer.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway,
Well, I'm glad she was found.
she was found. If
Unharmed.
that was my girlfriend or wife, I would immediately remember when I couldn't find Beth for 15 minutes when her and her girlfriend stopped at the bench on the way home from the restaurant.
Yes.
And I thought, raped and murdered. They've been raped and murdered in Franklin, Michigan.
The trials and tribulations of Mike Walters.
Well, there was. Oh, sorry.
I just read so many of these accounts that I can't help. I don't think, nothing positive. I mean, obviously, I don't think anything positive is happening. They've been raped and murdered.
I rolled by that bench the other day and thought of that. I'm like,
Did you?
This has got to be the bench right here.
Yeah, right on the road there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the post office, the quaint little post office.
Exactly.
That
That's
gas
the
station
bench.
that's expensive as hell,
Yeah.
connected to the fire department or something.
Well, they do it all. They come out and they pump your gas for you. They'll
Yeah.
wipe your windshield.
Little, little white
Ding,
guy
ding.
in a hat and everything comes out. How can I help you, sir?
Dude, when I hadn't seen one of those, and I don't know if ever in my lifetime. And when I was coming home from New York with Ty on that trip, that we stopped finally at some place, and that was one of them. And
Full serve.
full service. and the
Screw
guy-
that, man.
Dude,
That's
I
like
know.
valeting your car. I won't do it.
I
Really?
didn't know what to do.
No
The guy
way.
just kind of just went to the window and he started asking me. So I'm like, yeah, I guess. And like then I tell him the time, like, now I gotta tip this guy.
Screw
And
that.
it's like I'm already paying gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
I-
won't valet.
I avoid it at all costs. I mean, if some places you have to, obviously.
Sure. Those are usually free though.
Yeah.
A lot
but
of those.
I don't know.
Yeah, they're free, but
Free, quote unquote, but
Hey,
you're tipping the dudes.
tipping
Yeah.
him, and then some guy's driving your car, looking at all your stuff. Now in my car, it's not as big of a deal, but
Stealing your change.
I counted the pennies in the ashtray.
Did you see the top baby names in 2016?
No.
According to two different sites. Care to guess what some of the girls or boys' names were?
Like Emma, Bella, Mia is big now. Sophia.
Wow.
Boys are probably like Noah, Aiden, Alex. I don't know.
No, Alex. Wow.
Jordan.
Yeah, you're doing pretty well.
Yeah.
You got? Did you say Zoe?
I did not say Zoe, but it doesn't surprise me that it's there.
So for girls, number one is Sophia, Emma, Olivia. Let me know if any of these surprise you. Ava, Isabella, Riley, Aria,
Wait, what?
Area?
Area?
like Areola.
Areola. Is that short for Areola? No, I don't know area.
Aria. Is that
Aria?
Aria? Is that a Disney character or something?
Ari.
How's it spelled?
Ariel or
Aria.
Ari. I've not heard that one. That one surprises me.
Then Zoe, then Charlotte.
Okay, yeah, Char is big.
Shar Shar's big now. For boys, Jackson,
Yep.
Aiden,
Yep. It's been around a while.
Lucas.
You know, Aiden caught fire with that HBO show with the women in New York. You know the one.
Sex and the
Sex and
City.
the
Yes, dude. Her boyfriend was Aiden, and all of a sudden, Aiden is a hot name.
Really?
It's like, dude, come on, sheep.
Oh, that's so bad. That's so bad. So Aiden is big. Lucas, which you said.
Yeah.
Liam.
Yes,
Is that for? Why would
it's
Liam?
short for William, I think.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Instead of calling him Bill, they call him Liam. I don't know.
Then you've got Noah,
Yep.
Ethan, Mason, Caden, Oliver.
I know a young Oliver.
Really?
Yeah.
Elijah.
Yeah. None of those surprised me for the boys.
There was another list. That's the main list I consider because they took all the spellings. So if you had a Sophia that was a PH
Oh,
or
okay.
or an F,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
considered it Sophia. Both of those
Yeah.
instead of so the other names got in there when they took those away and didn't take that into account. Michael was number 4 for the boys. I wouldn't think people would be naming their kid Michael now as much. You know, Benjamin.
No Connor. Come on, Connor. Come on, Braden, Brendan, Brandon.
There's an
Every
Aiden.
derivative.
There's an Aiden.
Yeah.
But no, Noah's number 1. And then Abigail gets in there, Amelia
Yep.
for girls.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It doesn't, I don't know,
Dude,
man.
you've been off the scene, man. These are
Yeah.
all very common. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously, they're the top 10.
Mia. Mia coming back around.
Yep.
Wow. All right.
Hey, more importantly, today is Pearl Harbor Day, Mike.
It
the
is.
75th anniversary of the day in infamy.
My grandfather was in Pearl Harbor.
That's incredible.
Yeah. What's incredible?
That your grandfather was at Pearl Harbor during the attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, not many people lived through that, I don't think, and could tell about that. Of
Yeah.
course, he did before he passed away, correct?
He did. I think
Is that a lost tape at this point, or?
I don't know what the full story is. My grandfather never talked about his time in the military, except to my mom. She did one of those. I think a lot of people do this, but took a tape recorder and like interviewed him a few years ago. I mean, he died a few years ago, so it was obviously before he died that
thank you.
she
Good.
conducted the interview.
Glad she did that.
I've never listened to it. But I should. And she said, "Yeah, you can listen to it or whatever." I said, "Well, maybe I'll play some of it if it's good."
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I'll have to next time I see her, I'll ask her. But I think it was just like a little handheld recorder, so
Yeah.
I have no idea how it sounds. or
Record and play at the same time.
probably
What was it? 1,200 people that died that fateful morn
maybe
on the Arizona, the Utah, and the Oklahoma, I believe.
really.
Yeah.
You know more about it than I do.
I've been to that monument. It's pretty wild, man. That big white monument that you see going across the bow of the Arizona. You stand on top of it. It's like right there. It's crazy to think all these people are entombed in there, you know?
Really? Yeah. Wow.
2,403 died.
2,403. Wow.
1,178 were wounded.
Wow.
18 ships were sunk or run aground.
God damn, that's a lot. Well, I want to say Happy Pearl Harbor Day, but
75th anniversary. That's remarkable.
75th anniversary. Yeah.
I'm just glad Affleck made it out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he survived, so that was
Sure.
good.
Right.
What?
It's a harrowing day for him.
He did that shit movie. Wasn't it a terrible movie?
Oh, yeah.
Pearl
yeah,
Harbor.
yeah.
Dude, that movie, though, I haven't watched more than the opening, what is it, half-hour battle scene
Yeah.
where they just right into it, and it's on, man.
Really?
That's a pretty incredible sequence to watch. I mean, it's obviously Hollywood drama to the nth degree, but it's amazing.
I think they made a big deal of that movie coming out. Like that was one of those that was supposed to be
Like a Saving Private Ryan or
yeah, huge blockbuster. I have upstairs. Like remember when they would do those commemorative box sets of big movies like it was common for Batman to the movie with the disc. I've got one of these upstairs.
something. Yeah,
and
there's
there's
a poster inside and all that
yeah, and
shit.
there'd be a Batman action figure, him on a motorcycle or whatever, and then there's the disc in there. I have a Pearl Harbor one like that, and I think it was a bomb. No pun intended, but I think it was a bomb of a movie. And so upstairs I have this like encased thing with
Yeah.
Ben Affleck on the cover and Pearl Harbor, but I don't know. I thought it didn't do well. I know it didn't do as well as they thought it was going to do, but Well, did you like that movie?
No, I didn't watch anything past that battle scene.
Why would you stop there?
Because it looked cheesy and dramatic, like overly
Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah. What's that actual footagey?
It says this is the only color footage of it.
Pretty wild, man. Those sons of bitches flew all the way across and just bombed the shit out of it.
Ugh.
The attack is captured on color film by American serviceman Clyde Daughtry with his own
Clyde.
camera.
What a nightmare that would be to live through. Look
For
at
the
that.
last
Yeah.
Those
60
scenes.
years, the original color of this badly faded print has gone unnoticed until now. This is the first time
Those
it has
old
been
cars.
broadcast in color.
There's the SS Arizona, Jay.
Yeah.
You're talking about?
That's wild.
Yeah.
For
Biggest
2 hours,
single-day naval loss, I believe.
Wow. I'm going to watch that later. It looks interesting. Switching gears completely, we had another hospital mix-up with a baby.
Oh, no.
Yeah, some lady suing a hospital in Minnesota, Minneapolis, because her kid was accidentally titty-fed by another woman.
Dude, I'd sue the hell out of him, too. That bothers me.
Does it?
Oh,
Tammy Van Dyke. So you won't take issue with Tammy Van Dyke. Her son, Cody.
Cody, not in the top 10, but I'm sure in the top 20.
Well, this
It's right there, trying to crack the top 20
The suit is going now, but I think
a few years ago.
Cody was this happened to young Cody, who, for young Cody, he got his first, set of tits other than his mom's at age 3 days. That's pretty impressive. That's a story. I'm not saying it's a great story, but it's a story
He
nonetheless.
probably got hepatitis C, too, from this stranger.
Well, that's the problem. He had to go through a year of HIV tests and following the mix-up. Now Van Dyke has filed a $50,000 lawsuit, which don't you say it could be much more than that.
Yeah, it's just you're trying to get to the jurisdictional threshold.
This is against Abbott Northwestern Hospital. You drop your child off with the nurses, and at the hospital nursery with the nurses. Never in a million years would you think this could happen or would happen.
Are you kidding me? You absolutely think in a million years this could happen. That's like your biggest fear as a parent.
Really?
Oh, they're taking this thing away, and you're just like, oh, God, I hope that mark I made on its bottom
Right.
left toe is there when it comes back,
So really, that I would think they would have them. They would staple a
They
bracelet on them.
absolutely staple bracelets all over you, but it still is a fear.
Wouldn't
Because this thing looks like an alien. You're like, every baby looks just like this,
Yeah. So if they brought you any random baby back, you would just have to accept, like, pretty sure that's mine.
Yeah, they all look swollen and stupid.
Well, this Cody immediately had to undergo blood tests for the HIV and hepatitis, which had to be repeated every 3 months for a year. Yeah, that's
Poor
harsh.
kid. That might be worse than a recirc.
That would be worse than a recirc. Try to find a vein on your arm, let alone a little wee arm. That'd be hard. It was horrible. Two nurses had to go through veins in his tiny little wee arms. So yeah, the staff, I guess they're required to match codes on a bracelet, and for whatever reason they didn't do that. Yeah. So he was putting the wrong bass in that.
And I know some people don't mind this notion of having a friend who's also breastfeeding her baby breastfeed yours. Like,
Yeah.
that just seems so personal to me. Like there's some code or something that the mother links up with that baby and is only appropriate for those two.
Yeah, I don't think it is, but
It just seems so wrong. I know you've drank others' breast milk.
I guess I have.
You
I
have
guess-
supped from
I have.
another's breast.
that bad?
Miss Titties, do you
Not
feel
from
a
the
connection?
tap, of course, but
Yeah. Do you still feel any sort of
Unfortunately.
connection with her after that?
I think she feels a connection with
I
him.
think
She
she
does.
does.
A motherly instinct.
I think
That's right.
she does.
Yeah.
I don't know that I do towards her. I mean,
She's
She
one of those.
pumped and dumped basically, but she feels this connection with him.
crazy.
Yeah, she feels like she's one of those like, oh, just bless his heart to Biggie. It's kind of adorable.
Yeah.
But anytime we pick on him, or anytime we peel a little more of the onion, or E starts talking about how he was, people shot spitballs at him and tripped him on the school bus and wouldn't let him sit next to him on the school bus. She's just like, it breaks
Near
her
tears,
heart.
yeah.
It absolutely melts her heart.
Yeah, she has a heart for the lost, the feeble-minded,
Yeah.
for sure. I
kind of
think I
adorable.
lack that. Maybe I don't.
Oh. There's no think about it.
You have a barely
Yeah.
contempt for regular people, let alone the feeble-minded.
Yeah, you are, honest to God, Jay, you are as bad a human being as I've ever seen when it comes to feelings or feeling sorry for individuals.
That's not true. If you asked my
No.
kids, I'm a very hands-on dad.
I have no doubt that you're a great parent, but you have great kids. If you had a big E in the class, I think
You think I just shove him, just kick him to the curb?
I don't think you'd kick him to the curb. I just think you would give up on him sooner than you would. You'd focus more attention on the ones
I
that
might,
are gonna.
I might
that are gonna
rely on
fly.
Gab a little bit more on that one.
Yeah. You'd know which birds were going to be able to fly from the nest, and you would focus on their development.
Cut my losses.
Yes, you would much earlier. You don't have much patience for things. I'm not saying
True.
you're a horrible
True.
person. Wrong. But as far as like understanding or empathy's a good one. You lack a lot of. You don't have empathy for.
Can I work on that, or is that just
You can
either
try.
have it or you don't?
I think you're too far gone at this point.
Yeah.
I got to be honest with you.
Well, we saw what happened to the Grinch. His heart grew 3 sizes that day.
Believe me, we're fingers crossed. We're all very, very hopeful that this
The
holiday
season of merriment is going to change me.
Yeah, I don't know who you are. If you're who's the guy that fucked with Tim, who was on crutches?
Tiny Tim?
Yeah,
Fucked with Tim.
yeah,
Scrooge?
Scrooge.
He didn't
yeah,
fuck with him. I mean, he just fucked with his dad, Bob Cratchit.
yeah,
Yeah, not making him work on Christmas Eve
Yeah.
and stuff. Or,
yeah. See you being like
Wow,
that.
humbug. You are kind of a Scrooge.
Even in this season of
I think you're
merriment,
more of a Scrooge than a Grinch. Because I don't think you're a Grinch, really. I think more of a Scrooge.
Yeah, Grinch isn't the right word. I think unsympathetic and unempathetic is fair, right? E.
Yes.
I think Jay's
acknowledge
big.
that.
Jay's very, very big. Here's his big thing. Jay is very. He puts so much where most people put stock in different things. You know, like this is important, that's important. Jay puts tremendous stock in personal responsibility, and whatever goes wrong in your life, no matter how humanly flawed you are, it's your fucking fault, and just stop doing it.
on some level it is. And on some level, you absolutely can just stop doing it and change.
You're an alcoholic? Well, stop drinking, fuckface. You're a drug addict? Well, stop using drugs,
Or do what
fuckface.
you got to do to stop using drugs.
Yeah.
Or stop drinking.
Yeah. Or you're just a piece of shit.
Yeah, if you just carry on with the destructive behavior. Right.
But that's
There's
the definition
solutions
of
to these things.
empathy lacking and things like that. So that's all.
You know, if it takes going to therapy or whatever, okay, go do that. You know, I'm not saying quit it cold turkey. I'm just saying go fix it, man.
Right.
Hey, switching gears. Our friends at Zott Ford want to wish our TDC family a happy holiday season, and they'd like to help you Christmas shop too. First, while
By the way,
supplies
E,
last.
stop being retarded, will you?
Oh, yes.
Can you
Yeah,
work on
isn't
that?
there a program
just
for that?
Fucking, can you go to some therapy or something and stop being
Well,
retarded?
that's a problem. I guess I could go
Because
to
you're
therapy.
pissing Jay off. I mean,
Right.
can you work on that, please?
The
God damn it.
therapy-
No, it's this
would be-
crutch of retardation.
I don't even. No, this is where I keep getting. I do not use it as a crutch. I've never used it as a crutch. I don't use the ADD or the
or whatever.
the Asperger's as a crutch. I've never even said I had it. You got it's Beth and everybody else, and she keeps saying it. I've never said that.
I think most people would agree with me that while retarded, there are some things he could do to
course.
improve. Yeah,
Of
okay.
course
That's all I'm
there
saying.
are.
So do those things.
Oh, thank you. What a life coach. That's what you should.
Why
become.
are you having this discussion? I just told you, E, stop being retarded. I said that.
That's what Jay
Take
could
whatever
be, a life
actions
coach.
are required to stop being retarded.
Yeah.
Okay, I acknowledge there might be some actions below that. Do those.
Okay, we'll do.
First, while supplies last, get a free flat screen TV with each new and used vehicle you purchase at Zott Ford. Second, when you buy a new Ford car, truck, or SUV, Zott Ford will send you home with up to $2,000 cash in your pocket.
Nice.
Free TVs and cash to Christmas shop. 2 things you can get right now only at Zott Ford in Holly.
Dude, I could go for $2,000 cash in my pocket and a TV.
Yeah, just
Go
walk
fuel
in there.
Those things.
Huge.
So
Walk
what do we-
in.
we just have to
Gabara
walk
hands it
in.
out.
That's what I need. I need to go by there. How are we doing for email?
We do have some email. I must mention, however, our buddy Mark. You all know Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial by now. He will be celebrating Hanukkah soon. He is offering our listeners a great special. If you're one of the next 10 listeners to make an appointment for a no-cost, no-obligation portfolio review, Mark will give you a $50 gift certificate to your favorite restaurant. All these offers of money. Go
Yeah.
use our sponsors. You walk out a rich man.
If you went
Richer
to
than
all
you
our
were.
sponsors, you'd have a lot of money.
I know. Just go to all our sponsors. Walk out
Easy
rich.
fix.
That means at no cost, he will meet with you, review your financial investment situation, give you the recommendations or his recommendations. If you've been thinking about calling Mark, now's the time to do it. Remember, there's no obligation here. You can stand up and kick him in the balls. It's the kick him in the balls guarantee.
Yeah, and if you tell him to fuck off, he's not even going to snap back at you for wasting his time and shit. He won't.
Now's the time to do it. Call Mark at 248-626-2000. Ask for Mark.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
Miguel, you are being declared on Twitter a hipster for going to an ugly sweater party. A sellout. A hashtag sellout.
That's bullshit. I'm not hosting. If I was hosting the party
Or excited about it.
or fired up about it in any way, then you could say that. This is like
Pussy whipped might be more appropriate. Hashtag
They-
pussy
Beth is a
whipped.
hipster. You could
Yeah.
argue that.
Beth is just trying to meet people and be friendly, but and go and support her friends. But if I go to pussy whipped would be a better. I don't feel
More
pussy.
apt.
Honestly, I don't feel pussy whipped because
No,
I
you're
don't. I don't go out of my way for that. But I try to be hashtag supportive.
Yeah.
Right when I can.
You stand at finish lines and so forth. Or go to the car if it's too cold.
Yeah. And I turn into an absolute monster when I get fucking annoyed to no
So
end
let me
for
predict.
having
Let me
to be
predict
there.
what's going to happen. He's going to bitch before they go.
I've already bitched.
Okay, they're going to get in a fight on Saturday night or Friday
Already
night?
did.
Okay, Saturday night, he's going to get his stupid sweater and be like, I fucking hate this sweater. Do I really have to wear this?
itchy.
It's itching me. He's going to be
Doesn't
pulling at his
fit.
neck.
It doesn't fit.
I look fat in this, Beth.
fat anyways. Why are you doing this?
And then it's going to be...
dragging me to fucking Lavender Fest and fucking sweater parties.
You know what? You never want to do anything. You just want to sit in this house and watch
know,
CNN.
I know I do. Fuck. I look like a fucking asshole right now.
I don't
Just
ask that
let's
much
go.
of you.
Let's
I don't
just
ask that much of
fucking
you.
go. Just
one,
get in the car.
One goddamn Christmas
Get in the
party.
fucking car. The
Wow.
sweater's on. Let's go.
Oh, my.
Wow.
Sucker.
Oh. So then you drive in silence to the party.
Yes.
You
get
there.
drunk as I can, as
Yeah.
fast as I can.
Party
Drunk
face.
as you can. Yeah. And then you get in a similar fight on the way home.
Yeah.
Because you were a dick and didn't talk to her the whole time.
No, usually on the way home, it's the drunk guy that's like, "I'm really sorry." that
Yeah,
I
you're
was
just
that
trying to get laid at that
asshole
point.
earlier. That was uncalled for me to scream and spit in your face.
Any chance you could just suck on this?
Yeah, suck my dick.
And she's like, you know what, dude? Fuck you. You
Suck
wouldn't
your
talk
own
to me.
dick. How about that? How about
You,
you suck
you
your own
had
dick?
2 ribs removed last year. Suck your own dick. That's how that'll go, right?
Probably.
I'm spot on.
Yeah.
Ryan writes in, Christmas Jay. Jay, while I appreciate your attempt to be a jolly elf this Christmas season, I think you need to revisit a couple of your celebratory practices. Number 1, nog liquor. We talked the other day about what we put in nog. You guys don't drink nog. I suggested a spiced rum.
Yeah, I don't think you get credit for being a Nog supporter because you put alcohol in it. You involve alcohol in anything, and it's worth it,
Dude, or I would throw a cube in that and just drink it straight. Nog is really good, man.
I remember it just being so sweet, sweeter than Tang when I was growing up.
Tang is not sweet. Yes, it is. You said you like nog with spiced rum. Captain Morgan with nog is like taking a bus to California. You can do it, but it isn't the best experience. And then he goes on to suggest that I try it with Southern Comfort.
Oh.
Hands down, the best nog booze. You talk about sweet. You want to sweeten that shit up? Sprinkle on a little nutmeg if you want to be a pro. Come on, Ryan. You and your nutmeg.
Stop it. Dude, first off,
That's douchey, okay? I'm going to sprinkle on the
Nutmeg.
nutmeg. Oh, it's just extra jolliness.
whipped cream wouldn't kill anyone, though. That stuff's awesome. But, dude, Southern Comfort, is there
You might as well throw in some Wild Turkey or MD 2020.
Is Southern Comfort is the drink most people gave up when they were like 17 because they got sick as shit off
Dude,
it.
I remember visiting a Publix in Florida several days in a row on a spring break, buying bottle after bottle of Southern Comfort, and that's
Yeah.
the last time I drank Southern Comfort. Not
Yeah.
because I got sick on it, but it was so sweet. Mountain Dew and Southern Comfort.
That sounds awful.
Ugh.
I think that and Jägermeister are probably the two
That you just
that
give up,
young
yeah,
drinkers
quickly.
just like either get sick as shit on and like never again am I touch. I can't even smell Southern Comfort, and I probably haven't had a shot of it in 30 years.
Yeah. Frankly, I suspected if somebody was going to call me out on the nog liquor thing, that they'd do something hoity-toity with some bourbon I'd never heard of, you know?
Yeah.
But Southern Comfort, come on, Ryan.
Well, now I kind of want to try it just to see.
Dude, grab some nog, grab some low-fat nog, and just try it.
I'm drinking low-fat
Dude,
nog.
some of it will kill you. It will absolutely kill you.
Why?
It's got like 300 calories to half a cup. It's ridiculous, the amount of fat and
Yeah.
stuff, too. Get a low-fat version, just a little, half quart or whatever it is, quart.
Yeah.
And try it, dude. It's really good.
1 liter, is it? Those little boxes?
Yeah. Christmas movies, number 2, says Ryan. Sure, the ones you mentioned are good, but you always gloss over one of the best. Gremlins. Being a kid in the 80s, it's one of my
Gremlins,
favorite
really?
Christmas movies. It is, in fact, a Christmas movie.
No
And I'm
kidding.
putting it on my list, Ryan. That slipped my mind.
How was that a Christmas movie? Was that a gift? Was a gremlin a gift or
I
something?
think the little what was the first version of the gremlin? The little cute guy?
There was Stripe or Spike.
Well, he
was
was
the
the
bad
bad
guy.
What are those
what's
called, dude? Starts with an M.
Magua?
Yes, Magwai or something like that.
Yeah.
Magwai. Yeah, that
What,
was
you
that
couldn't
was
get
a
them
Christmas-
wet. Was that the story with
Couldn't
them?
get them wet.
If you got them wet, that's when they turned mean or
Something else, wetness and light or something. I don't know. I remember being a little kid and getting bummed out when Phoebe Cates does her monologue about her dad failing the Santa test and dying in their chimney. I vaguely remember that.
don't remember.
Oh, well, she looks damn good getting out of a pool, so I guess it all worked out. Of course, he's referring to Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Carry on, gentlemen. Ryan.
I think my dad took me to that movie with my brand new Vans shoes.
Of course, you had Vans as a kid.
It was my birth-
I'm wearing
I think-
tracks. You're wearing Vans.
Yeah, I think it was my 13th birthday, and it was right around the time they started doing PG-13 movies. And so my dad took me to that PG-13 movie. I want to say it was Gremlins.
I thought the first PG-13 I saw was Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I could be wrong in that. There were a few right in that time frame. I do remember Gremlins being there, and Poltergeist as well. I think was
That was
right in that time frame.
PG-13?
I think, or it was right on the edge. I remember it being an issue whether
Yeah.
I could see it or not. And
Wow, I think of that as like hardcore scary movie. I remember my dad
dude, I showed that
terrified
to my
us.
kids, and they were like, "Come on," they were
My-
laughing.
Yeah, well, now they would. They've seen way more than we did back then. My dad took us to see Jaws in the theater, and the only memory because I would have been
That was R for
yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah, and I was probably I don't know
They had
7 years
titties in
old.
Jaws.
Yeah, but I remember my brother spent the entire movie under the seat, scared as fuck at Jaws.
Well, he was probably 5.
Dude, he was 4, maybe 5 years old. Yeah,
Bob.
I know.
What are you doing?
And this is a guy like my parents didn't let us watch R-rated movies. Like I had to go to Derek's house or something to
I
watch.
wonder
that
what
when
his
we were young.
reasoning was in that.
I don't know.
Like, let's scare the shit out of them in terms of any ocean that they might approach, any body
Yeah.
of water.
I don't know. He probably just wanted to see it really bad,
Yeah.
and they couldn't get a babysitter. It was like, fuck it, bring them. I have no idea. When did that come out? 79? 78?
75.
Jaws did?
Wow.
Yes.
They must have replayed it or something.
Maybe Jaws 2. I think I went and saw Jaws 2 at the theater with my mom. I like begged her to take me.
Yeah.
She was like, it's rated R, but it is just about a
78.
fish. So
Yeah. 78. That makes more sense.
It's
Maybe
not
it was
like the-
Jaws too.
It's not like he's going to have nightmares about a fish in his closet. So
He'll be fine.
Jim writes in, Podfathers, I have a slightly different slant on signing kids' permission slips. We talked about this a couple episodes ago. Last year, my son brought me a permission slip during his first and only 8th grade. Since some of the school kids are English as a second language or have parents that do not speak English, they sent this particular permission slip home with English on the front and Spanish on the back. I like to have fun with these requests and mess with my kids, so I sign my name on both sides of this. The Spanish side I sign as Diego Zorro. Needless to say, I left my mark. Keep kicking the podcast world's ass. Jim. Thank you, Jim. Jimbo writes in.
Different Jim.
Different Jim. This is Jimbo.
Yeah, what up, Jimbo?
Jimbo.
Jimbo.
That's a guy you run into at the bar, just like
Jimbo!
One line for Jimbo.
Not a shock to see you here, Jimbo.
fucking Jimbo.
It's got to be fucking Jimbo.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucking Jimbo.
One thing I knew for sure, I could count on fucking Jimbo
My
being
man,
here at the bar
my
tonight.
man Jimbo.
A few pictures for yourself, Jimbo.
Jimbo writes in. Hello,
Hunter? I imagine Jimbo's a hunter, too.
Jimbo's a hunter for sure.
Yeah.
Jimbo writes in, hello, ringmaster, trapeze artist, and poop scooper. I've been recently thinking back about the scary clown sightings and had a revelation, possibly found a conspiracy. Jay Detroitcast Stein has called Donnie Trump a clown several times, and ever since the election, I've not seen any news about said scary clowns. So can I assume that scary clown sightings were just underground Trump rallies, and now that their leader has been elected, they've gone back underground? Jay Detroitcast Berg and company need to make some calls and get to the bottom of this. Personally, I do not believe in conspiracies, but there may be some meat here. Mike and E, peace. Jay Detroitcastowitz, shalom.
I see what he did there.
Listen, Jimbo, I'm not Jewish.
You're celebrating Hanukkah this year, aren't you?
I'll take a yarmulke if anybody wants to send me a sweet yarmulke.
Dude, I wonder if anyone will send us a yarmulke.
Yeah, go ahead and throw out your leaves. Anybody want to clean up Mike's leaves? Go ahead.
No,
Mike.
I've got them on the schedule.
Yeah,
They're coming.
Is your washer fixed yet?
No, but I have that on the schedule as well.
Taken care of by listeners? No doubt.
Maybe.
Amy writes in. Get ready to be grossed out. Podcast Heroes, Amy writes in. I had to write to tell you about a super heinous story about my mom's friend whose ex-husband died and wasn't found for, wait for it, 3 months.
Ooh.
So this is a mom's friend, ex-husband.
Here's the question I have really quick before you continue with Amy's lovely email. Does it matter if you're not found 3 months or 3 years?
Well, let me read further.
Okay.
Yes, you read that right. 3 months. As soon as she told me this, I immediately asked if the body was, quote, mummified.
Hell yeah.
But she told me that the medical examiner told them that it was strictly, and I quote, an archaeological situation.
Ooh. So they're just like sweeping bones.
He was only bones.
Oh,
So-
in 3 months, he had cats.
He must have had cats and other vermin, perhaps. Rodents, rodentia.
Oh, yeah.
They had to identify him by dental records. The only reason they found him, and he's still not rotting there today, is because his car was being repoed. And apparently when that happens, a police officer needs to be present. And the police officer noticed that the door was unlocked, so he went in and found the aforementioned archaeological situation.
Oh, man.
On top of it all, when they found him, the basement of the condo also had flooded with water, and there was mold growing throughout the house. I just couldn't believe that this actually happened to someone that we sort of knew. The saddest part of it all is that he didn't have anyone close enough in terms of relationships for someone to realize that he had been dead for 3 fucking months.
Yeah.
This is basically what Mike and E have to look forward to.
No, I know it sounds funny and haha, you guys are, that's cute. If you two didn't show up, like, okay, assume Beth will leave me at some point in the next few months.
Safe assumption.
If you two stopped coming over here, it would take, like, I wouldn't make a house payment for...
Doesn't the Schwann's guy come to the front door to sell you, like, freezer food or anything like that?
No.
No.
I mean, could my parents call or my brother and sister, but it wouldn't be uncommon for me not to get back right away or for a month. It could honestly be 3 months before anyone... It would probably take, like... I stop making payments completely on the house, and then they come and foreclose on it in 6 months.
No,
It could happen.
Your parents would worry. It'd be your parents.
I don't know, but dude, if they were in California
Well, what if they're gone? I
in
mean,
the
that might-
winter,
They'd order a pizza to do a welfare check. They'd have a pizza delivered, right?
Mike doesn't answer the door though.
yeah.
This is what would happen. They'd call me, and I'd walk over here and find your dead ass.
Yeah, there you go.
But I'm saying it could literally be weeks.
Yeah.
At a minimum, it could be weeks. I could go weeks without
For
talking to
sure,
family
dude.
members easily. You
Yeah.
can go weeks without talking
Yeah.
to your parents.
Yes, definitely.
So if you can go weeks, you can go months. It might seem a little out of, it might seem a little bit odd, but I could easily
Yeah.
go dark, and people would just assume.
You would be an archaeological situation.
Yeah. I wonder how long it would take me to mummify.
Got 2 cats here that would.
Yeah. They'd
Yeah.
They'd
do
have
a
at
number.
it.
Yeah, they do a number.
On a totally unrelated topic, my sister and I went to a church Christmas show last night that featured live animals. There was even a dromedary involved.
Wow.
And we couldn't even pay attention to the show because we were just speaking in Mike's Proop's voice, basically narrating the show from the Proop's perspective.
Well, yeah.
Whenever one would walk onto the stage, we would proclaim in his voice, "Here I am. It's my time to shine."
Yep. Thanks for coming to my show, everybody. Nice to see all you smiling faces. Yeah.
I'm sure the people around us loved that, loved the show. Winky face! I think I've been to that church service, actually, with the real live dromedary and stuff. I think it's
Yeah.
in Northville, if I'm not mistaken.
Have you guys seen that video? I don't know why. It might have been on the shitter. It was going through my phone and through Facebook videos or something. And there was one of some guy, and he's like filming as this goat comes around. He's like in an, just like a, I don't know, warehouse situation, and all of a sudden this goat comes around the corner. He's like, holy shit, there's a fucking goat in the middle of the, and the goat comes up to him like, hi, sir, how you doing? Nice to see you.
As goats do.
He's got little horns on his
Yeah.
head.
His eyes are way too far apart.
Yeah. And then as he's talking to the goat and filming it, all of a sudden, what are those? A fucking giant llama comes around the corner and comes walking up to like, hey, buddy, how you doing? And he's like, what the fuck, man? I guess these two broke out of some enclosure and were just roaming the city for a while. I don't know
Just
where
hanging
it
out
was.
as buddies.
Yeah. They were on
It's
the run
kinda
together.
smart, though.
And so they're
Stick together, man.
so they just came upon this guy. Gross, I know. And he filmed it. If you haven't seen it, it's kind of adorable, though.
Cool.
Reminds me of that, yeah.
Hey, Mike, I got to mention.
Douglas! And then we're gonna find our best friend Doug, and then we're gonna give him a best friend hug. Doug, Doug, oh, Doug, 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 Doug.
Buying a home can be one of the most stressful times of a person's life. Doug Steinert at Century 21 Campbell wants to make the sale of your old home or the purchase of your dream home as stress-free as possible. Call Doug at 248-765-1781. That's 248-765-1781. And let him and the team at Century 21 Campbell make your home purchasing dreams a reality. Call 248-765-1781 and ask for fellow Detroit Cast listener Doug Steinert. You know, it strikes me, Mike, with the holidays coming up, there's always that week between Christmas and New Year's, and everybody and their brother around here has that week off because automotive, right? They all shut down. That's the time to call Douglas. It's the time to go see Merck.
Yeah.
It's the time to go to Zott Ford, get a deal.
Yep.
It's the time
Call
to do
Kyle Mayer.
Kyle Mayer, get on his schedule because your taxes are right around the corner.
Get on
this shit
Amazon
done.
and buy your belated Christmas gifts.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Do
right.
this shit, people.
Please do. Are you good? We
We'll
done?
save the rest for tomorrow.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging with us. We'll wind up the week tomorrow. Hope everybody has a great rest of the day. We'll do it again tomorrow. We'll see you then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.